Here is a quick part 2 of my weaving that I was working on, and I thought about how I wanted to finish it off. I wasn't feeling particularly inspired to do much weaving today, so I did a simple weave with this thicker yarn, and I just wove in the end when I was done, and I trimmed it down just a touch so that when I took this off the loom, it didn't really get in my way as much. I am going to show you how to take it off in just a second, but first, if you haven't woven anything into the top there, if you want that to help hang your weaving at the end, go ahead and do that. But all you're going to need to do is cut the yarn on the back and just be really careful so it doesn't fall apart before you tie the warp threads together. I'm just putting my scissors on top so it doesn't move around while I'm tying. I'm sure there are different ways to do this, but this is how I finish my weaving off. I just take 2 warp yarns and just tie them together. Tie them pretty snugly, but not too tight that it messes up your weaving. I'm sure you could try different kinds of knots. This is just the simplest way that I prefer to do it. So you're going to do the next 2 and then the next 2 until you're done, and then flip it over and do the other side. And then after you're done tying the warp threads together, or the warp yarns together, this would be a good time to trim what you would like to trim. I'm going to flip it over and trim all of those ends that I wove in, which I find pretty satisfying because it really cleans it up. If your weaving's pretty tight, you shouldn't have to worry about anything unraveling, especially if it's hanging on the wall. I am going to trim the fabric just a little bit too, and then I'm going to trim this piece here. You can go ahead and trim the fringe. The way I made my knots made it a little funky, but whatever. I tied on some wax linen thread at the top there for an easy hanging, and there it is. I hope you had fun, and I'll see you for the next video.